200 metres for race number 6 as we go up a class here to class 3 with My Ally dropping in class here into class 3 company for the first time. Chad Schofield in the saddle. Fairy Twins, good fresh up record. He's 2 from 3. Jumper Happiness, a 3-time course and distance runner. Red Warrior makes his Hong Kong debut. He's won 3 races in the UK, but all on the all-weather. Eagle will roll forward from barrier 1 with a 10 pounds off. Phantom Falcon gets the hood and the visor on. And good for you, a 2-time course and distance winner last season.
Yep, this is race 6, and Chun Fa had one horse visit, and that was Fairy Twins.
Yeah, for Chris So, who came back a few weeks ago, back on the 14th.
He's had a few problems too, Fairy Twins. Looking at the speed map, now Eagle and Phantom Falcon potentially are the 2 horses to be on the pace. Harbour Alert, of course, in the Tony Millard yard was very prominent in a trial in which he won. And then of the rest, not a great deal of pace. Red Warrior is probably a little bit of a query. One trial he finished 2nd, the other one he was back in. So he's obviously a query, and obviously Jenny's report on him being a first starter will be crucial.
Here is the first starter, Red Warrior. He's 1,045 pounds. He's had a couple of trials. He's unplaced in one, ran 2nd in another, and he seems to be going nicely enough. He's not the biggest horse around, being by Holy Roman Emperor, but some of those horses, well, Designs on Rome wasn't the biggest horse either. So that's him. We're looking at Harbour Alert now, and that's the one in front. He's just going on from Cheerful Giggles. Really nice piece of work, I thought, from this one. Grant Van Niekerk aboard. He'll ride him on race day, and he'll team up with Tony Millard. They were pretty successful on Sunday. And here's Eagle. He's the one in front with Mickey Rich at the back there. And Victor Wong getting a good feel for Eagle, and he'll take the 10 pounds off on race day, and the horse looks pretty forward.
Got a great draw as well, hasn't he? Barrier 1 to roll forward from there. A reminder, Quartet and First 4 merged jackpot pool here as well in race number 6. Final leg of the TT. We'll take a look at some of the main players, starting with Eagle involved here, and Iron Boy running 2nd and 3rd back into last season. Yeah,
Iron Boy, Francis Loy's had him going really well, particularly at the end of last season. A recent trial from him behind Winning Controller, who won on the weekend, was quite good too. He got the upper hand from Eagle. Eagle obviously is still, I think, finding his feet here in Hong Kong and acclimatising, and he'll go in with a lot less weight. Obviously, with the claiming rider aboard.
Yeah, I got him in the numbers. I haven't got him on a win line, but he should get a good run with that light weight and from a low barrier draw.
All right, OK. What about Fairy Twins? Been up at Chung Fa. How's he been looking in the build-up to this?
Yeah, as Brett mentioned, he's had his issues. He's had a stress fracture, but seems to be over them all now. His best runs are always when he's fresh. He's had 2 wins fresh from his 3 goes fresh here in Hong Kong. And I'll side with him. I think he'll come up a reasonable price. What's he, $12 at the moment? So I've got him on top. It could be a good each-way bet.
It's a typical good Class 3 where there's a lot of horses you can make a case for. I just tend to think if you can sort of get the speed map right here, then you can sort of start to cut it up a little bit. But he's a definite player, should he get the race run to suit.
All right, Jumper Happiness, good course and distance record, and Casper and Zach have got a good record, or they did have a good record last season too.
Yeah, he's had a little ligament injury as well back in June. Zach was aboard in this trial. Obviously, it was a little wet this morning. First up, he hasn't really ever troubled the scorer, but he does give the impression he's a horse that's still got a little bit of some ratings in hand. With the openness of the race, I'm going to sit on the fence with him and let him go.
I've let him go. Yeah, I know what you mean, Brett. And he tends to get better after a couple of runs.
All right, Harbour Century ran well. First start for the Millards on the weekend. Harbour Alert now with Tony Millard as well.
Yeah, when he was at Paul O'Sullivan, he used to do this type of thing as well, and he always looked like he was going to win a lot of races. The query is he's only won 1 from 31 starts, but has had 10 seconds.
See that horse in 2nd? That's Country Star, the first starter earlier on in the night. Obviously, wet tracks on the dirt can enhance margins and so forth. We'll see how it unrolls.
Yeah, Phantom Falcon. He's only won the 1 race, but he always gives his all, doesn't he?
He's a good little trier. I'm actually going to side with him because I think he can potentially offset the outside barrier and get up outside of the lead. And then maybe he and, of course, Eagle, who's got the lightweight, might be able to sort of just dominate the speed a little bit. So if that's the case, I think they can both, sort of kick pretty quickly and strongly in the stretch, and I think he'll run well because he is a good, honest little horse.
Yeah, I've got him in there, and he hasn't had any luck with his barrier draws. He used to draw wide all last season, didn't he? Phantom, and he used to still run well under tough runs.
Yeah, 5 times he was runner-up last season. Final leg of the TT. and it's a very competitive race to finish with.
It is. So I'm going to go with a bit of value here with Fairy Twins, currently a $12 chance. So he's a good each-way price. Harbour Alert, as I mentioned, he doesn't win often, but he always runs well. He's had 10 seconds from his 31 start. So I've got him in as the Quinella horse. Eagle with the lightweight, and agree with Brett there with Phantom Falcon. So I went 2, 6, 8 and 11, and with the openness, I went exotics in the end. But each way, Fairy Twins, I'd be happy enough to take that if he stays that price.
Yeah, I think it's an each-way type of race, and I'm going to go with Phantom Falcon. I just think he can travel forward. He's got a light weight. He's a good, honest type. He wasn't quite able to handle Class 3 on a winning line last season, but an off-season underneath his belt, lightweight here and a reasonable trial. Him and Eagle, I think, potentially might run the queue. Harbour Alert won't be far away, and I'll go with My Ally in for fourth.
Yeah, I got My Ally as well. A decent price. 8.80 now. It's much bigger a few minutes ago. Anyway, I'm with Paul, though. Fairy Twins on top for me in race number 6.